In today's video, I am going to be talking about time management and why it is important, especially for star players or your leading scorer to be able to understand. Now, this is not a rant video. It may sound like a rant video. This is actually a video that I want to use to be able to teach players how to handle the clock that here has 15 seconds left. Now, this was a video that was recorded 1.5 years ago. This was a preseason game that David had when he was in grade 8, which is technically grade 7 in the United States. So let's get down and let's check this out and see what time management could have been done with anyway. So let's get down and let's check this out. Okay, so as we can see right here, I'm going to put this in slow motion. We get the lead pass ahead to David right there. He receives that pass. He has the lane. He could have taken it. He was smart. He had 18 seconds left on the clock. He dribbled it out towards the perimeter so that he could use the clock. While we were up by 8 or 11 points, you still want to have that last shot, especially with it being the first quarter. If we had the last shot and we made it, this could have been a 21 or a 22 point score potentially, and that's very good. I like that, but that's not exactly what happened. Obviously, you've already seen what happens, but he dribbles the ball out. He has a ton of space right here. He could have taken the 3, but he didn't because, of course, he's smart. He has 17 seconds to burn. There's no shot clock because, of course, this is a grade 8 game. This is an AAU game, or at least our version of AAU up here in Canada. And he collects the ball. He picks up the ball right away. Tons of space. Probably not the greatest of ideas. Now, instead, what does he do? He passes the ball up towards the point. Maybe he was thinking, okay, well, we can call a play. Give it to the point guard, or at least the player who is currently acting as point guard on the floor. 15 seconds left, lots of time. And, of course, the point guard calls for a cut up. We had multiple point guards on the floor. David is a point guard on this team, or he was. He's a point guard, and also he is the point guard of the team as well. So we had multiple point guards on the floor. Player cuts, looks away, and of course, this ends up being a turnover. Now, what should have happened instead, if we are looking at time management as the star player, as the number 1 scorer on the team, and what I mean by that is, he averaged this year, at least the year of recording this video, 25.5 roughly points per game. The second place person or player averaged 8. This is the massive disparity, what I mean. This is not just me making things up. If you are the leading scorer and you receive this go-ahead pass with 18 seconds left, and you're known as a potential point guard on the team, dribble that ball up. Get it out here. Now, you've created that gap between yourself and the defender. He already had a massive gap, so dribbling it up would have been totally fine. They're not about to go and try and trap him. At that point, if he was to dribble it up, at this point, it would be around maybe 15, maybe 14.5 seconds that he would get it here. Now, depending on the team that you're on, the plays that you have, you could call for a screen up top and go. That would have been an option. Another option would have been running a play. They had a play on this team where David could have dribbled to the middle. Horns, screen and roll on either side. He could have taken 12 seconds to get up here, waited until there was about 8 seconds left, called for the play, dribbled off of that screen. He'd be at 6 seconds now. He would have 6 seconds to attack the rim, pull for a shot. If he pulls for a shot, there's 3 seconds left after it goes in, and because it's FIBA rules, first quarter clock doesn't stop. So he would have had plenty of time. He could have got to the rim, gotten and one. There's a lot of different opportunities that present themselves in this scenario, but generally speaking, I see this more often than not. I'm not even talking about my teams that I coach. Star players, when they get rid of the ball with this much time left, they are not getting it back. So it's going to somebody who is generally a lower scorer. And let's face it, you are a leading scorer, most likely, but not always, because you have a high shooting percentage. So, should I, or as a coach, would I rather have, or as a player, would I rather have myself pull the ball out myself and then have maybe a 30% 3, or have a 60% layup and a good chance to get to the free throw line? Versus another player who may have a high amount of turnovers, or another player on your team who may shoot at a lower percentage, or another player on the team who just doesn't have the experience of taking the last shot, while David has that experience by a ton, because he probably takes on average between 10 and 15 last second shots every season, if not more. So if you are in that situation, time management, if you are the team's leading scorer, you should be the one who pulls it out. You should be the one who calls a play. Now, this is me as a coach. Every coach is different. So obviously talk to your own coach before you do this. But this is how I would want my leading scorer to be able to handle time management with only 15 seconds left on the clock. I hope that you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, hit that like button and subscribe, and I will see you guys again in my next video.